The Doctor and the Duchy's Deception. Dr. Alara Novikova was known for her meticulous nature, a trait that served her well both in the operating theater and in her pursuit of the perfect vacation. She had recently arrived in the historic Duchy of Oakhaven, a region that had transitioned from a modest earldom into a prestigious territory. As she stood in the cobblestone square, she admired how the duchy retained the charm of a medieval principality while embracing modern luxury. She had traveled here for an international conference, her mind already buzzing with the complexities of the week ahead. The following morning, Alara took the stage to deliver her keynote address. Her presentation focused on the latest advancements in diagnostic imagery, specifically regarding the delicate cartilaginous structures of the human auricle. She spoke with a precision that silenced the room, explaining how high-resolution scans could now detect the smallest anomalies. Had her colleagues known her passion for detail extended to the culinary arts, they might have understood why she spent her lunch hour analyzing the texture of the local bread with equal intensity. That evening, Alara sought out a cozy setting to unwind. She found a tucked-away tavern that promised haute cuisine and impeccable service. The atmosphere was warm, lit by the amber glow of lanterns. She ordered a refreshing shandy to accompany a series of mouth-watering dishes that highlighted the region's gastronomic heritage. As she sipped her drink, she marveled at how the simplest ingredients, when handled with care, could produce a symphony of flavors that rivaled any complex medical procedure. The next day, while wandering through the artisanal market, Alara encountered Marek, a pushy man with a charismatic but hurried demeanor. He was draped in fine silks that seemed slightly too garish for the setting. Marek claimed to be the sole purveyor of ancient delicacies, urging passers-by to sample his wares. He spoke quickly, his eyes darting around the square, behaving like a classic con artist who relied on charm rather than substance to move his product. Intrigued, Alara approached Marek's stall. He pointed to a spread of obatsta and rows of freshly baked kolache, insisting they were made from secret, locally sourced ingredients. "These recipes have been in my family since the duchy was a mere village," he boasted. Alara picked up a jar of the cheese spread, her eyes narrowing as she scrutinized the handwritten label. Something about his insistence felt practiced, like a script that had been recited too many times to be entirely honest. Her analytical mind began to process the information. She noticed a suspicious chemical smell emanating from the artisan preserves. Through a legal loophole in the duchy's labeling laws, Marek had omitted the use of certain industrial additives. Alara recognized a specific preservative that, in high concentrations, was known to be carcinogenic. It was clear that these were not traditional goods, but mass-produced counterfeits disguised as heritage crafts to swindle unsuspecting tourists. Alara decided to confront the scammer. "This isn't an earldom's legacy, Marek. It's a culinary Ponzi scheme," she said, her voice calm but firm. She explained that she had used her skills to verify the lack of authenticity in his goods. Marek's face paled. He had expected an easy mark, not a doctor who could dissect a lie as easily as a scan. "It must have been a shock to find someone who actually reads the labels," she added, her tone sharp. Within the hour, Alara had alerted the local authorities. Officer Ingrid arrived to inspect the stall, and Marek was quickly escorted away for further questioning. "We've been trying to catch this scammer for months," Ingrid said, thanking Alara for her vigilance. The fraudulent goods were confiscated, ensuring the market's reputation remained safe and sound. Alara felt a sense of quiet satisfaction. She had protected the health of the duchy's visitors and the integrity of its traditions. As the sun began to set over the principality, Alara returned to her hotel. She reflected on the day's events while watching the golden light hit the stone balconies. She had come for a conference on imagery, but she had ended up seeing through a different kind of facade. She smiled, thinking of the old proverb, Every cloud has a silver lining. Today's silver lining was the preservation of the Duchy's culinary soul, and perhaps a bit of excitement to tell her colleagues back home. Before bed, Alara brewed herself a simple cuppa, opting for a plain herbal tea over the fancy concoctions of the market. She laughed to herself, offering a self-deprecating thought about how she simply couldn't turn off her doctor brain, even when faced with a plate of cheese. It had been an exhausting day, but as she took a final sip, she knew she wouldn't have it any other way. In a world of diagnostic imagery and complex scams, sometimes the most important thing to see was the truth.